Oregon is coming off a win last time out. That was on Friday night against Cal, but they had to grind it out, a 52-47 final. Their largest lead was 7. Oregon was 0 for 16 from outside the three-point line, so they are going to have to make shots here today to hang tight with Stanford.
And Eric, before we tip, there has been an administrative technical foul assessed to Oregon because the LED light is not working on the backboard right now. So it'll be the one free throw, and then we'll tip it up.
So our officiating crew filling Christie on that, and Stanford's going to have an opportunity here to start with a lead before the ball is even tipped. Lisa Jones, Kenny Nash, Brian Woods, our officiating crew here today. And so an administrative technical foul. The question is everything working right now? As Kelly Graves getting it explained to him right now, and it will be Lexi Hull stepping to the free throw line. So making the odd announcement because of a LED lightning problem. It's a technical foul and a lot of what's going on around the building here at Matthew Knight. So before the tip, Hull is at the line. She wanted more than one, but it's only one per customer, Lexi. So not that Stanford needed any additional boost, but they get one here with the technical, and now we're ready to go between the Cardinal and the Ducks. Cameron Brink jumps center, and the tip is controlled by Stanford, and here we go in Eugene.
And from Oregon, throughout this game, expect them to mix up their defenses. Man, zone, different kind of zones.
Lacey Hull, back out to Anna Wilson. Shot clock down to 6. Here's Haley Jones spinning and coming up short, and Sabali getting on the glass for Oregon. Going to be so critical for the Ducks as you take a look at their starting 5. India Rogers, the transfer from USC, has played very well against Stanford in her career. Here's Pow Pow on the cut, back out to Sabali. And an early 3, and that's a little bit different than what we saw here Friday night when Oregon went 0 for 16. They're 1 for 1 here today.
Great start for Oregon because it's twofold. You make baskets, you can get back in the half court and set your defense.
Sydney Parrish knocking down the 3. Here's Brink inside. No, one and done again for Stanford, and Pow Pow with the push. Offensive rebound for Parrish, and a foul is called. Tara Vanderveer, when we asked her about a possible letdown today after winning the regular season championship, came up quickly with an answer. No chance. This is a very mature team in the Hall of Famers' estimation, and thought they would be ready to play, and they're still chasing that undefeated conference record.
Well, it's always next goal for a program like Stanford, and so yes, the championship was done, but they have bigger and better things that they are aiming to achieve this season.
So Haley Jones heads to the line with the early personal foul. One of the great strengths for the Stanford team is their depth, and we're going to see it here in the opening minutes. Hannah Jump, first one off the bench for Stanford, an elite shooter within limited range. Brink turning, can't get it, and an offensive rebound here for Stanford.
And how many times yesterday in Oregon's shoot-around did we hear, you've got to box out? That is a big key for Oregon today, to limit Stanford to one shot.
Good defense here by the Ducks, and they get a stop. Oregon wants to run off the miss. Here is Rogers. Rogers gets a half step on Wilson, but then Brink, a great shot blocker, was there defensively. Back out to Shear. Pow Pow with control out of the scramble, and she'll reset shot clock down to 8. Pow Pow is blocked by Cameron Brink. Brink had 5 points Friday in a season-low 7 minutes, was in foul trouble. She is such a force on defense.
Well, off the on-ball screen, it forces a switch. Cameron Brink just stays at home and gets that last block.
Offensive rebound, Sabali. Sabali dancing around in the paint a little bit too much, and that will be a traveling violation and a turnover for Oregon, averaging 13 turns a game.
We're already, we're not even 3 minutes in the game, 5 offensive rebounds for Oregon.
Total rebounds, huge number, +7 for the Ducks so far, make it +8. Off the miss by jump. Shear. Pulled down by Lacey Hull. Wilson will try a 3. And that's batted out of bounds by Hull, and it'll be Oregon basketball. How critical is it for Oregon to hang tough with Stanford on the glass? Right now, Kelly Graves' team is dominating on the glass, and they're up by 4 in the opening minutes.
Well, we're seeing night and day difference between Oregon from Friday night to Oregon tonight. Rebounding already, converting at the rim. And the key for Oregon tonight, yes, stay close on the glass, but they got to play with pace. That means player movement as well as ball movement in the half court.
Rogers. Pow for 3. There's another offensive rebound for the Ducks off the long miss. Rogers is well short, and here comes Stanford. Wilson. Lacey Hull can't hit. One and done again for the Cardinal.
Where when you defend Oregon, you've got to be ready to defend the on-ball screen, and you're seeing Stanford try to ice it, and then there's been a lot of switches. So far, the guards of Oregon haven't been able to finish at the rim till now.
Well, I'm sorry, you were saying?
Till now.
Something about the guards not finishing at the rim, because I think India Rogers took care of that.
India Rogers just moving without the ball, and it gets the ball away from the outstretched hand of Cameron Brink with a great touch at the rim.
So a chance for a 3-point play. Foul on Brinker first, so she'll check out, and here comes Fran Belibi off the bench. Again, that depth. Multiple starters for this Stanford team come off the bench. Belibi has started, of course, this year, and here is Rogers at the line. Had 11 points against Cal on Friday night in that low-scoring win for Oregon. Can't convert at the free throw line. Stanford unable to convert since that administrative technical free throw made by Lexi Hull.
Well, credit Oregon's defense so far.
Sedona Prince is into the game for Oregon. She's the one who went flying to the floor. Prince did not play in that first Stanford game. Coming off the bench here for the Ducks. Pow. Back for Prince. Looking for Prince on the post-up, knocked out by Belibi. And they say last touched by Oregon.
Well, the last possession, you just see Fran Belibi get free to the rim. Love the head fake. That allows Prince to fly by for the easy 2.
Belibi with the drive and getting the contact, and a foul called on Sedona Prince.
Well, I love the spark Belibi's giving Stanford because not scoring. So what does she do? She gets to the rim, last possession, this time, reverse pivot face up, drives to the rim to initiate that contact.
Belibi played 18 minutes in the win against Oregon State on Friday. 7 points, 10 rebounds in 18 minutes of play. Stanford depth, such a big part of their success because they can come out to you in waves with talented players who are fresh, who can play at a high level. Look, you've got Jones and Brink on the bench right now, and you bring in Jump and Belibi.
Tara Vanderveer told us yesterday, I've got 5 players on the bench who have started at some point this season. It speaks to the quality of depth for this Stanford ball club.
Prince just picked up her second personal foul. So 2 quick ones on Prince. And she heads to the bench.
And I'll be eager to see how that affects Oregon's defense as much as it does Oregon on the offensive end with Prince going to the bench.
Kylie Watson into the game for the Ducks. Jump will try the 2. Nope. And rebound to Parrish. Wilson, outstanding defender, working against Rogers. And Rogers threw it away. That'll get us to a media timeout. Good start defensively for Oregon, keeping the #2 team in the country in check. 3-point game in the opening minutes. I think everybody can agree there's truly one big 3 in Oregon history, but the new 3, the 2.0, however you want to put it, this is that combination. And Christy, they have been so critical to the success for Oregon. One thing they have in common is they all missed a lot of time in the beginning of the season. And for Kelly Graves and this team, they've been trying to figure out, well, who do we have, who's on our roster? But when Rogers and Pau and Sabali are all together, they've been pretty good.
Well, they got their own version of beautiful basketball when those 3 are on the floor together. And Eric, we mentioned it off the top, how many games Oregon is playing in the last 3 weeks. 3 games in 3 weeks. This has prevented this team from having lap time, from getting on the court and working on themselves because it's been game prep. This is a team, in my mind, that's in January form, not quite ready for tournament play because they just need that practice time together.
Now that's spoken like a true coach, right? Because players would love just to have game, light practice game, right? But for coaches, you want to fix what's wrong, you need that time on the court. There's Believy with the putback, no, and the rebound for Shear.
You've hit it on the head, Eric. This is a player's dream, a coach's nightmare, this schedule for Oregon. But the bottom line, rivalry games, you throw it all out the window as we're seeing here from this great start by Oregon to this point in the game.
Stanford so far 1 of 11 from the field. Parrish sets for 3, and they are on target. Specifically, Sydney Parrish, who was 0 for 4 from outside the 3-point line on Friday, and 0 for 8 overall from the field. Talk about somebody turning the page. There is Hull, Lexi, with her first field goal.
Well, I just love how Lexi Hull hunts for shots. Posted up earlier in the game, wasn't able to convert this time, just getting downhill and scoring.
Pau with the feet inside and then tied up by Lacey Hull. And jump ball will keep it with Oregon.
Well, after Friday night, you knew it was a matter of time for Parrish. I love that she gets her feet behind the 3-point line. That's a 3-point shooter. No towing it, wants the 3, not the 2.
Maddie Shear will check out of the game. Sabali back on for Oregon. Looking for Sabali on the post up against Believy.
I wonder how long Stanford will just allow one-on-one basketball on the low post when the ball goes into Sabali. Surprised there wasn't a doubles that time.
Well, that's what Stanford does so well. The back cut, Hull doesn't score, but she earns a trip to the free throw line.
They read the defense. If you get up in that passing lane, they know, cut it back door, great delivery.
So here's part of your answer perhaps for Stanford as they bring Ashton Prechtel in, 6'5" junior. Comes into the game, so a little more size for Stanford as they continue to get beat up on the boards. Lexi Hull went for a career-high 33 in the first meeting with Oregon. That was back on January 7th, an 80-68 win for Stanford. Cardinals shot 57% from the field, 57% on threes. And Hull was in the middle of it all. Her previous career high before the 33 in January came against Oregon earlier in her career when she went for 29. So Lexi Hull likes facing the Ducks. Knocked away by Wilson. Good hands by the 6-year senior. Haley Jones back into the game after picking up the early foul. Back out to Prechtel with a deep 3. Struggles continue for the Cardinal, now 0 for 4 from outside the 3-point line. The miss from Parrish, but another offensive rebound for Oregon.
There comes the double from behind.
Just as Sabali turned, Hull was there ready to tie it up, and it'll be Stanford basketball.
Yara Sabali's just too good to go one-on-one down low. So you see Stanford, as soon as Sabali turns her back, Hull chases in there to tie up the ball.
Final 2 minutes of the first quarter. Jones won't drop, and a rebound for Parrish, but she came down awkwardly and is jogging gingerly across half court. Well, seems to be okay right now. Couldn't get it to drop, and the rebound comes to Wilson.
Well, Stanford has numbers.
Well, Wilson lost the handle, and now Rogers has Jones back. Rogers takes it right at Jones, who gets called for her second personal foul.
Eric, we're looking at the two best defensive teams in the Pac-12, and we know Stanford can score. It's not like Oregon can either, but for me, it will be the gray area of this game. What do I mean by that? Second chance opportunities and taking care of the basketball. We see Rogers convert on the last miscue by Stanford.
So Jones heads to the bench with 2. We welcome those of you who watch Temple take on Cincinnati. Welcome to Eugene, Oregon. Eric Freed, Christy Thomas-Scuddy, and our crew. Final moments of the first quarter. Stanford jumped out to a lead before the opening tip. An administrative technical foul was called. So Lexi Hull knocked down the free throw, but Oregon dominated in the opening moments of the game. And the Ducks taking on the regular season champs in the Pac-12. Stanford on top of their rivals by 5 here in the first quarter.
We're seeing an Oregon team attack the offensive glass, and they've been good offensively. They struggled Friday night making shots. Hasn't been a problem so far in this first quarter.
Rebounding, a huge story in this game so far. Oregon a plus 11 in rebounding margin, and they have 7 offensive rebounds. Hull from the outside can't hit. Lacey off the mark, but here's an offensive rebound for Stanford, and Lexi Hull in trouble on the sideline, and they're going to call a push on Elise Hurst, who just checked into the game for Oregon.
I love the trap by Oregon off of the offensive rebound. And the fans don't like this call, and I agree with them. I think Hull just lost her balance there.
Now the foul on Watson, not on Hurst, but I think the replay supports those who disagree here in the building. Brambalibi on the cut. Good defense by Shear, who does everything well, but just could not get back into play fast enough. It'll be Stanford basketball.
Well, great read by Stanford on the curl cut. Looks like it's a clean look, but Shear doesn't give up on the play, stays in it, and just stays out of bounds a half second too long.
Stanford's won 14 in a row. They are 13-0 in the Pac-12, trying to pursue a perfect conference schedule. They've won 28 conference games in a row. Belibi got caught underneath, and she gets fouled by Shear.
I just think that's a big foul on Shear because we already said Prince with 2 on the bench. Watson allows this Oregon defense to really be mobile and change. And now they're going to go much bigger with the substitution of Che.
So Watson checks out. Freshman Filipina Che will come on. Belibi off the mark on the first. Our ACC Big 12 Big Monday doubleheader features Armando Bacot and North Carolina taking on Louisville at the Smith Center. That's at 7 Eastern. Then 7th-ranked Baylor will take on Oklahoma State in Stillwater. Both games on ESPN and also on the app. So Belibi comes up empty at the free throw line, but for the moment might not be an empty trip for Stanford. So Oregon over the limit here in the final minute. Prechtel back in. You mentioned the foul trouble with Sedona Prince on the bench. She picked up 2 fouls coming off the bench here in this first quarter in a minute of 15 of game action. And Haley Jones picked up 2 fouls here in this first quarter for Stanford. For those of you just joining us, though, one of the great strengths for Stanford is their depth. If someone's in foul trouble, there is someone, and Tara Vanderveer said it's like pro wrestling. It's a tag team system we have. You're in foul trouble, you're not playing well, tag out, we got someone who's going to come in for you.
Well, having a quality bench just gives you such a margin of error. Your shot's off, next player up. If there's a mismatch, next player up. And this is why you're seeing Stanford have such success, because next player up, doesn't matter foul trouble, injury, or whatnot, they're ready to perform.
Rogers crosses over to get free of Wilson, but can't hit, and Prechtel's got the rebound. Shot clock is off. Stanford will slow it down with Lacey Hull to hold for 1. And the game clock just stopped at 6.8. Now it's running again. So a little extra time here for Stanford to close out the quarter, but they can't get a good look. And Oregon started the quarter with good defense. They end the quarter with good defense. As a result, the Ducks on top by 4 after 1. The #1 team in the country, beating Tennessee by 14, 67-53. 19th consecutive double-double for Aaliyah. Boston, and a great scene in front of a full house in Columbia to showcase and celebrate women's basketball.
Well, Eric, you heard me all week just talk about how great it is for our game to have game day in South Carolina, and the fans did not disappoint in any fashion.
First possession, second quarter here in Eugene. Sabali for 2. Oregon is now 5 of 16 from the field, which is not great, but Stanford 2 for 17 from the floor in the first quarter.
Well, it's been a very stagnant offense, and credit Oregon's mixing up a defenses right now, going to a 2-3.
Shear got a hand on it, handed it off to Pow Pow, and here comes Oregon after another miss from outside the three-point line. Stanford is now 0 for 7 on three-point attempts. Pow Pow. Wilson. Hands it back, another three-point attempt. Hull misses again. Again, Shear gets a hand in there for Oregon. Does that a lot. She's always around the basketball.
Every team needs a player like Maddie Shear. She's the glue player, defends, leads the team in total assists, total steals. She's just active. Whatever they need, Maddie Shear is ready to provide. Had
to play marathon minutes, especially in the non-conference part of the season, with Rogers and Pow Pow out for most of non-conference play with injuries. Corner 3 missed by Hurst. Rebound to Wilson.
Eric, the shocking stat to me in this game so far is with 2 of the best post players in the Pac-12, we only have a combined 10 paint points between these 2 teams.
Stanford settling for jump shots, and as a result, they are 2 for 20 from the field now after the miss by Brink.
Well, I think it's twofold for Stanford. They're settling for jump shots, which means players are outside the paint, which is preventing them from getting on the offensive glass.
Jay for Pow Pow. Pow Pow finds Sabali, who rolls to the basket. Nope. Brink had the rebound, but had it knocked away by who else? But Maddie Shear. It'll be Oregon basketball. Big 10, Big 12 Super Tuesday doubleheader on ESPN this week. And you can also see it on the app, 7 Eastern time. 19th ranked Michigan State will be at Carver Hawkeye to take on Iowa. Then it is the showdown in Kansas between 6th ranked Kansas and Kansas State at Allen Fieldhouse. See it coming up on Tuesday.
Last 2 looks, screen on the ball offense for Oregon. They got good looks, just were not able to convert.
Another three-point attempt, this time by Jana Van Geitenbeek into the game for Stanford, and the shooting woes continue for the Cardinal. And on the drive, Parrish was fouled. So Brink picks up her second personal foul. She battled foul trouble at Oregon State on Friday. As I mentioned before, played a season-low 7 minutes, had 3 first-half fouls. And Tara Vanderveer just said, you can sit the rest of this one out.
Well, bottom line, she is worried about the fouling of her team. Opponents are averaging 12 points a game in conference play. That doesn't sound like a lot, but that's 21% of their total points. Why give easy opportunities? And that's how quickly Oregon can score off that on-ball screen. The perimeter players just need a half second to get their shot off.
Kiki Uriafen is into the game for Stanford, and she draws the contact, and the freshman from LA will head to the free throw line. So Sabali picks up the personal foul. That's her second. So 2 on Sabali, 2 on Prince for Oregon. That means Che's back into the game.
And 2 on Watson as well.
Very often averaging 5 points a game in 7 minutes a game. Scored 6 points in 10 minutes in the win against Oregon State on Friday night. Kelly Graves down working with Niara Sabali. Oregon has held Stanford to 10% shooting from the field, and you have to wonder, and I mentioned before Tara Vanderveer, and who am I to disagree with Tara Vanderveer? I would never, ever do that. But when we asked about, is there a potential letdown after clinching the regular season title, she said, no, we're too mature, but Stanford does seem out of sync right now. Oregon has a lot to do with that, and Oregon has stretched it out to a 9-point lead.
Well, these are young women, and they're on social media. They know this is an Oregon team that struggled to beat Cal on Friday. No disrespect to Cal, but it wasn't like Oregon was clicking on all cylinders. And we've talked about the 3 games in 3 days for 3 straight weeks. But what we're seeing from Oregon is a team that's not ready to lie down and has come out firing.
Pow knocks down the 3. Double-digit lead now for the Ducks.
And this zone is so active for Oregon. Finally get an interior pass that forces the zone to shift.
Oh, good little move by Uriafen, but Che recovered to alter the shot. And here comes Oregon trying to add to the lead. Pow can't get the runner, but was fouled, and she'll go to the free throw line.
Well, Eric, I love that Pow has gotten aggressive off the bounce. Anna Wilson goes to the bench, who had been guarding her a little bit, and all of a sudden we see Pow turn the corner, and look who's checking in.
So Wilson checks back into the game, career game number 150 for Anna, tying the Stanford record. First miss for Pow. Of course, such a highly touted recruit. Had great freshman year, but then an injury at the end of last season, missing the final 5 games. First team Pac-12 last season. Assist to turnover was 2.4 to 1. Outstanding freshman year. Slowed down this year in the non-conference by an injury. Missed 9 total games. And really, you know, I know the calendar says February 20th, Christy, but where is Oregon on their calendar as far as where they are? Does it feel like a mid-January team to you? I
feel like definitely an early January team, and that's a compliment because look at the upside as Stanford finally gets one to go down. And I mean, we talked about the big 3, but Parrish can go off, Shear can go off, and we have talked about the depth of the bench for Stanford, but Oregon can go 9 deep and not miss a beat as well.
So after missing their first 9 3-point attempts, Stanford gets one from Lacey Hull.
And so now we're seeing the man. So we're seeing this Princeton offense by Stanford. Can they go to war?
The answer is yes, because Haley Jones, back into the game with the 2 fouls, gets it to go for her first points.
Well, I love the play call. I love getting it into her, because why put her back on the floor if you're not going to utilize her skill set?
Rogers. Did she get hit by Wilson? Nothing was called.
Anna Wilson was saying, my bad, my bad, my bad. So I think there was contact.
Paopao was fouled by Iriafen. Oregon playing on their home floor against the second-ranked team in the country, up by 6 in the first half. Kevin and Coach, thanks very much. We'll see you at halftime, which is 4:09 away. That defense has been very good. The zone, as Andy mentioned, kind of throwing a bit of a curveball at the Cardinal.
Well, in the first matchup, Oregon's only other defense they could go to was a 3-2. And that's where Lexi Hall was able to get so many for three-point looks. In this matchup, they have a 2-3, and they're gone from the 2-3 to man, completely mixing it up. And you always want to attack a zone with a different odd front. And so whether it's 2-3 or 3-2, that affects how Stanford wants to try to attack the half-court zone.
Good job by Rogers to read the pass and get the steal. Rogers with the push all the way for 2. Back to a 10-point lead for the Ducks. Very often strong take by the freshman for 2.
When Tara Vanderbilt came over yesterday, I said, hey, I want to ask you about Kiki Iriafen. And she goes, Kiki, you owe me $5. I'm like, what are you talking about? She goes, I make her pay me every time someone compliments her because my phone blows up with compliments for this young lady. I think her upside is tremendous. So explosive off the bounce, as we just saw.
Kick to a corner look, the hot hand today, but not right now for Parrish. And Jones will put it on the floor. Jones finds, guess who? Iriafen. 7 points off the bench for the freshman. Paopao, great find, and 1. Watson will go to the line. That was classic Paopao right there.
Well, Watson coming in with the 2 fouls, and they utilize her. Iriafen has to step up to defend Paopao. Pocket pass to Watson with the finish.
And a jump checks in for the Cardinal. Kylie Watson behind the Ducks for 1 shot.
So 2 fouls on Lexi Hall. She'll go to the bench again. Got a career high 33 in the first meeting between these two teams in January. Iriafen with the rebound. Hall has 7. Iriafen has 7 for Stanford. And a jump back into the game. Jones on the drive, and a blocking foul is called on Parrish. Well, we mentioned Anna Wilson playing in career game number 150 today, tying the Stanford record. So that means that Big Brother has to come into the building, and I believe Anna's sister-in-law is in the building too. Perhaps you're familiar with Ciara's work.
I don't know who these people are, except that they're relatives of Anna Wilson.
You know, you are a pop culture maven. I mean, you knew right away. Ciara came in, so Russell. We like to refer to them as Anna's brother and sister-in-law,
exactly.
Right? It's not like Super Bowl winning quarterback and platinum selling artist, right?
And Eric Fried, I love you because you're the first person to ever use the term pop culture in my name in the same sentence.
I think I threw Maven in it. I don't even know if that's right, but it sounded right. 9 to shoot as Paopao resets across half court. Throw it up there, try to get a rebound because Oregon's done a very good job on the glass here today against Stanford. And the tie-up possession will give it to the Cardinal with 2:03 to go in the first half. Jump. Looked like Iriafen made some contact there as Parrish is looking around for the foul and nothing's called. It'll be Stanford basketball.
Big break for Stanford. But one thing I'm seeing from the Cardinal in the last couple of minutes is that the pace of their offense. The ball is moving so much quicker than it did throughout that first quarter and the better part of this quarter as well.
Lacey Hull, there's jump Can't get it. Oh, Iriafen continues to make a big contribution off the bench. She was fouled by Pow Pow fighting on the boards.
Well, coaches will tell you rebounding's about heart and effort, but when you've got athleticism like Iriafen, it helps too. She is so explosive off the floor to pursue that rebound.
First foul on Pow Pow. Believy back into the game as Jones checks out. Entry to Believy for 2. Stanford brings it within 4. Spun up beautifully. Kylie Watson with the basket.
I love how hard Kylie Watson plays. The issue has been foul trouble for the young lady. I think she gives them such a bounce, plays physically and defensively, can defend, I think, positions 2 through 5.
Nowhere to go for Wilson. 1 minute to go in the quarter. Wilson, deep 3 on the way is good. Big brother likes it. Oh, Rogers with the blow-by for 2. Rogers having another good game against Stanford. She's in the double figures with 10. Iriafen continues to fill up the highlight reel here in the first half. 9 points on 4 of 5 shooting.
Iriafen is going off, plain and simple, and I love that she's getting to the rim and not settling for face-up jumpers.
Final seconds of the half. Rogers, a little hesitation. Needs some help. Finds it from Pow Pow, who beats the buzzer. Oregon with a 5-point lead over the Pac-12 regular season champions at halftime here in Eugene. Time for the E-Trade halftime report. Here to take you through it, Kevin and Andy. Welcome back to the Pac-12 on ESPN. Willamette River here in Eugene. It's been a beautiful weekend, and it was a good first half for the Oregon Ducks. And there's only one way to celebrate a lead at halftime here at Matthew Knight Arena. We had our own private dance party, and she was outstanding. Oregon led by 10 at one point in the first half. The lead is 5. Eric Free, Christy Thomas-Scuddy back here with you. What stood out for you in that first half?
Oregon's defense. I think they just had Stanford frustrated, shooting quick. I'm not used to seeing that from Stanford. I'm eager to see the adjustments by Stanford's offense. But for Oregon's offense, it was the guard play of Tahina Pow Pow and India Rogers. And Eric, they only need half a second. Subtle on-ball screens, rub screens opened up these 2 guards for Oregon. 18 of the team's 36 points. And the on-ball screen's a big part of both of their offenses. And when they got the opportunity to get downhill, they made Stanford pay.
So here's the story of the score in the first half. Stanford started out 2 of 21. They missed their first 9 3-point attempts. The bench has been very good for Stanford, led by Kerry Iriafen, who had 9 points in that first half for the Cardinal. Sabali picked up 2 fouls in the first half, so she had to sit for a while. Played just 10 minutes in the first half and back at it now with 6. Brink on the turnaround. Cameron Brink was held in check in the first half, was 0 for 3 from the field, the leading scorer and rebounder for the Cardinal with her first points of the game.
And this half has started the way I expected the game to. Both teams going inside of their bigs, and the bigs being able to convert, except for that time.
Sabali had the open look, couldn't hit the short jumper. Here is Jones for the Cardinal. Brink. Pow Pow with the rebound. Oregon was a +6 in rebounding margin in the first half, helping him to that 5-point lead. Sabali. Pow Pow. Sabali hanging in the paint a little too long and gets called for the 3-second violation.
I gotta believe you can tell already in this third quarter the message by both head coaches. Get the ball inside of the bigs. And that doesn't mean the bigs have to score, but it forces defenses to make a decision. Are you gonna go single? Are you gonna go double? Are you gonna play behind? And we know both these teams are predicated then on how that defense responds.
Beautiful spin move by Haley Jones. She had a couple of fouls in the first quarter, now with 6 points in the game. Jones, the number 2 scorer for this Cardinal team. Step back 3 on the way is no good, and Anna Wilson's got a rebound, and Stanford can tie it with a 3. They looked for the 3, but stepping out of bounds was Lexi Hull, Oregon ball.
Haley Jones' little curl screen there, and then the spin move with the touch off the glass.
Stanford only turned the ball over 2 times in the first half. Jones has a triple-double on her resume this season. Came against Portland, 6 double-doubles this season. Went from 13-10 in Friday's regular season title clinching win over Oregon State. Pow Pow takes it at Brink with the kick. Pow Pow open look for 3. She doesn't stop moving. She's got quite the motor. Inside, outside, ended up outside, knocked down to 3. She's got 11.
Well, now we're seeing Oregon with some beautiful basketball because they are moving the ball and sharing the ball extremely well.
Shear. Last touched by Oregon. Turnover number 9 for the Ducks.
Well, it starts with Pow Pow getting downhill with a kick out, but you just see the selfless play. Shear pulls defense. Pow Pow racks for the 3 in the corner.
4 threes knocked down by the Ducks. Stanford is 2 for 12 outside the 3-point line. And the first player off the bench for Stanford is Kiki Iriafen, and rightly so after how well she played. But as I finish that sentence, she turns it over for Stanford. That one won't spin up. Sabali kept it alive, but only for the moment. Here's Haley Jones. Jones with her head up the whole way and ran into Parrish, who gets called for the foul, and Haley Jones on her knee for the moment.
Well played, Georgia Ducks, Sydney Parrish. Second foul of the game. And we're bringing back in for Stanford.
Be the second personal foul on Parrish, and after the turnover by Iriafen, she checks out. Let's see what happened to Haley. Oh yeah, left ankle. Stepping on Parrish, rolled it, didn't fully roll it over, but enough to give you pause, certainly.
Great sign though, just staying in the game.
Two fouls on Parrish. Brink, after heading out just for the moment, is back on the floor. Stanford's only lead of the game was before the opening tip. An administrative technical was given to Oregon because the LED light wasn't working on the backboard. So Lexi Hull stepped up, made the free throw. Then they had the opening tip, but then Oregon controlled play in the first half. And a foul is called on Brink before the shot, according to Lisa Jones.
Well, I love that now Brink's getting the ball off the move and now trying to score off the move instead of just back to the basket. With her length, I think that she has an advantage if she can just get the one-step dribble past the defender.
3 fouls on Sabali. She heads to the bench. Sedona Prince is in for Oregon. She picked up 2 quick fouls in the first quarter. Pow Pow pulls down the rebound. Rogers. Shear. Back for Prince. Defended by Brink. Rogers kicks it out. Open 3 for Parrish. Prince with the offensive rebound and a second chance here for Oregon. Prince cashes in. Stanford on another scoring drought. They struggled in the first half. They shot 2 of 17 from the field in the first quarter, missed their first 9 3-point attempts. Jones, Brink with the offensive rebound and a second chance here for Stanford.
Well, Oregon's gone to a smaller lineup of Parrish now at the 4, and I like that Haley Jones is trying to exploit that.
Rogers with the rebound. Can't get the pull-up, and she was in it alone, so an easy rebound for Stanford. Brink trying to do it off the dribble. Don't think that's what Tara Vanderveer was looking for from Cameron Brink, who has struggled here this weekend in a return to her home state. Parrish couldn't connect with Prince. Turnover Oregon. Here's Wilson. Lexi Hull, a transition 3. No. Brink. Yes.
Great footwork to stay in bounds by Brink and keep the ball alive to finish that rebound putback.
Pow, pow. Prince rolling, gets called for foul number 3. That will get us to a timeout. It comes with 3:55 to go in the third quarter. Ducks still up here in Eugene. For Oregon fans, 4 straight Sweet 16s for the Ducks, Final Four in 2019. And how about Sedona Prince announcing on Twitter, which has been an effective platform for her, she's coming back. She's going to graduate in the spring, but announced yesterday via social media that she will come back for another season. She hasn't had her best game here today, but she can be an impact player for this Oregon team. Watching on the bench with 3 fouls right now.
Such a great skill set. I mean, she's a big, and at times reminds me a little bit of Candace Parker a little bit. The way she can face up and exploit a defense. Obviously not as explosive as Candace was, but we saw her Friday night. They don't beat Cal without Sedona Prince on the floor.
Yeah, she was a difference maker in that game. 15 points, 8 rebounds, and assistant coach Jody Berry told us yesterday that she saved us in that game against Cal. But watching right now for the Ducks, Prechtel into the game, attempted a 3 and was off the mark, and it's Stanford basketball.
First, second foul, team foul number 4.
Foul on Pow Pow, her second personal. So Sabali with 3, Prince with 3 for Oregon. Ducks led by as many as 10 points in the first half. Jones, as the dominoes fell for Oregon, just in time for her to have an opening.
You get the feeling here in this quarter that it's going to be Jones that gets Stanford back in this game. Already more aggressive when she's getting the ball in her hands to try to get to the rim.
Kylie Watson into the game for Oregon. She rolls to the basket and was fouled.
On-ball screen action again. Watson sets it and rolls. Great pass, great hands. Draws the foul.
That foul charge to Lexi Hull. That's her 3rd personal foul. So Rogers checks out. Elise Hurst on the floor right now, and Watson at the free throw line for a couple for the Ducks. Our ESPN Wednesday college basketball doubleheader begins with the Sonic blockbuster. Paolo Banchero and 9th-ranked Duke takes on Virginia at 7 Eastern. Then Oscar Tshiebwe continuing to pile up the double-doubles will lead Kentucky against LSU at Rupp. You can always watch on the ESPN app. 21 and 14 for Tshiebwe on Saturday.
Mary, Oregon's gone small. Parrish again at the 4, Watson at the 5, and you're seeing just the athleticism of Watson to match up with Haley Jones now in the half court. But I'd love to see Preckle. I know she's a face-up post, but and here comes Cameron Brink. I want to see Stanford look to exploit this small lineup of Oregon.
Brink back in. Preckle checks out. 8 to shoot for the Cardinal. Jones can't get it to drop, and Brink gets called for the foul. That's her third personal foul.
Back-to-back out-of-bounds plays for Stanford. Haley Jones had the shot, and she just wasn't ready when she caught it.
It's been a struggle for Cameron Brink here today. 4 points, 3 rebounds, 2 of 8 from the field. Stays on the floor with the 3 fouls. Shear back for Pow Pow. Defended by Wilson. Works with the screen. Banks it in.
%25% of the offense for Oregon on this season is screen on the ball action. And when you talk about Pow Pow, you're talking almost 45% of her points are coming off of it. And right now, Stanford is struggling to contain this young lady.
13 points, 4 rebounds, 3 assists for Pow Pow. 6-point Oregon lead, inside of 2 to play in the third. And a blocking foul is called on the drive by Brink. That is a critical call right there as Brink with the aggressive take. Could have picked up foul number 4, but the foul is called on Oregon's Watson instead.
Well, Brink is trying to get to the rim, lowers that shoulder, and I got to agree with the fans here. I thought she initiated that contact and that Watson was set.
And the Brink line for Stanford for 2 shots.
So here is Brink, front runner for the Player of the Year award in the Pac-12. Has won the Player of the Week award 4 times this season. From Beaverton, Oregon, but it has not been a great trip north for her this weekend. Individually, team-wise, part of a team that won the regular season championship in the Pac-12 for a 25th time. Down in this game, but certainly not out of it, down by just 5 here in the third quarter. She'll check out after the free throw. Rogers tries to get around Belibi, who gets called for the foul. That's her first.
That's what's difficult when you defend Pow Pow and Rogers. 3-level scores. They can get that half second, do the pull-up, hit the 3. But right now you can see how aggressive they are, getting downhill and attacking the bigs of Stanford.
Pow Pow saw a little opening and connects again. 15 for Pow Pow. Belibi got tangled up with Pow Pow, and Pow Pow gets the steal, doing it all right now for the Ducks. And then a little too quick for Oregon and a turnover, and Wilson showing some speed to get down the court, get the basket and the foul, a chance for a 3-point play.
Well, Stanford will make you pay with the miscues. Active hands by Hall, lead pass. Sister Hall to Anna Wilson in transition through the contact, getting to the free throw line.
Agnes Emanopu comes in for Stanford for the first time today. The final minute of the third quarter. Take a look at Anna Wilson, 6th-year senior, freshman year, had injuries, played just 6 games and 48 total minutes. Missed the end of that season with a right foot injury, missed the last 7 games of her sophomore year with a left foot injury, but has been healthy these last several years, and a big part of that national championship team a season ago, and trying to make it back-to-back here for Stanford, and she gets the steal of Rogers, but can't finish. Good hustle by Iriafen to be there on the glass. And just into the game and knocking down a 3. Agnes Emanopu.
Well, the one young lady that got the most support and love from the entire Stanford staff yesterday was Emma Nopu. and showed up in a big way with that last three.
Shot clock and game clock just about in sync. Pow Pow on the drive, has it blocked. Picked up by Stanford. Time for Wilson from half court. Stanford brings it to a 1-point game.
Well, we know Stanford's a beast on the glass here, just so active. Extra shot, and Agnes Emanopu knocks it down.
This was the scene last night at Gonzaga's senior night. Will Graves, part of the senior class for the #1 team in the country, and his dad have made the trip up there. It was a flight up to Spokane, but then a 7-hour drive back for the Oregon head coach overnight and into this morning. So here's the planes, trains, and automobiles summary on the left side. They had the game against Cal, had the early flight up to Gonzaga, there for Will's senior night ceremony because he said, I can't miss that. It's my son's senior night at Gonzaga, #1 team. Then the drive back to Eugene, which I'm going to assume from that 9-4 stretch could feel like it goes on forever and ever and ever, but he made it here on time for the game.
Well, I think anyone knows that coaches sacrifice so much, and a lot of times that sacrifice is their family, and I love that Kelly Graves put family first and went up to be there on the big night for his son.
Stanford inside, knocked away from Hull, battle for the loose ball, won by Sabali back into the game, out to Pow Pow. Parrish, transition three. Jones from the outside can't hit, and it's another rebound for Pow Pow, who's on the move again. Stanford comes in #2 in the country. Oregon looking for a little history in Eugene this afternoon. Shania Pinto on the floor right now for the Ducks. Pinto defended by Jones and travel. 14th turnover for Oregon. Stanford has turned it over just 5 times today. Pinto will check out, and here comes Maddie Shear back onto the floor. Jones, a pass out of the reach of Brink, and Stanford had that chance a couple of trips ago to go in front for the first time since they led 1-0 before the opening tip. Pow Pow caught Stanford napping on defense, and Tara Vanderveer is going to call a timeout, and this arena is going to go off.
Pow Pow just makes Stanford pay for not stopping ball. Oregon's on a roll.
Well, we told you it was going to get a little bit louder now when Pow Pow knocked down the 3, and then they took it up a notch here instead of Knight Arena going crazy against #2 Stanford. Pow Pow leading the charge.
Well, one of the great venues for women's basketball is responding to the great play by Pow Pow. There, just gets to the rim. You're seeing the quickness, the speed, but it has been team offense. They have made Stanford pay for miscues, and Pow Pow's been the one to take advantage of that. Spotting up for 3. Any space off the on ball, she's been ready to knock it down. And that big 3 a moment ago before the timeout was just a veteran guard making the defense pay for not stopping her.
And that breakdown by Stanford defensively led to the timeout called by Tara Vanderveer. Brink lost the handle. Pow Pow tried to take off with it, but still going to be Oregon basketball.
The defense is so active by Oregon this afternoon. That time Brink turns her back, and you saw the weak side guard go in to try to double, and that's what forced ultimately the turnover.
Stanford has won 14 in a row. They've won 28 consecutive games in Pac-12 play. Both streaks on the line right now here in Eugene with the Ducks on top by 7. Sabali, Pow Pow. Everything is dropping right now for the sophomore. Had to change the angle, change the arc, doesn't matter. 10-point Oregon lead.
A lot of change, but the same result. And I've got to step back a comment I made earlier about this Oregon team, because the way the offense is clicking right now, this is a team that is ready for March.
Jump in the brink. Sabali playing with 2. Make it 3 fouls, make it 4 fouls now as she gets called for the personal.
I still believe for Stanford to get back in this game and cut into this deficit, the ball needs to go inside first. I'm not saying a post has to score, but then create higher percentage looks off of that interior pass.
Lexi Hull will head to the bench. And Sabali heads off with the 4 personal fouls as Watson's back in. Our ACC Big 12 Big Monday doubleheader starts with North Carolina and Louisville in Chapel Hill at 7 Eastern time. Then 7th-ranked Baylor will take on Oklahoma State in Stillwater. Catch both games on ESPN and also on the app. Powell, Brink on the switch, tried to enter it to Watson, but turned it over. Hall on the pull-up, gets it to roll. Lacey Hull with her first points of the second half. Watson, Shear is open for 3. Lacey Hull with the rebound for the Cardinal. Watson defending Brink. They let him play on, and here comes Rogers. Maybe they don't let him play on. Timeout was called by Oregon. Kelly Graves gonna just let that one marinate a little bit as we go to the timeout here in Eugene. February 7th against Virginia on that late 3-pointer. Here in Eugene, Oregon on top of the number 2 team in the country. Stanford 13-0 in conference play. And it's a 7-point game with 6:31 to go in the 4th. It has been an outstanding defensive effort from Oregon. They have kept Stanford in check. Stanford's only lead was 1-0 on an administrative technical before the opening tip. Pow. Everything's going right now. Tahina Pow continues to fill it up. 1 shy of her career high right now. She's got 23. Remember that game against UConn here where she went for 22 in that victory. And on the other end, Watson takes the contact and the foul is called on Stanford's Brink.
Everything is going Oregon's way right now, and they are being the aggressor on both ends of the floor.
Stanford has won the last 3 games in this series with Oregon. Of course, they have had many memorable matchups. The last Oregon win was the 2020 Pac-12 title game when they met in the championship game for the 3rd consecutive year. Pow got the defender in the air. Won't drop, and the rebound for Iriafen.
Well, you can just see now with Maddie Shue running the point how they're spreading the floor and really trying to get Pow off of those down screens to get her in the curl action to score.
Iriafen, no. Taken away by Emma Nopu. Wilson for 3. Another offensive rebound, this time pulled down by Haley Jones, and Stanford starting to even things up on the boards, and Jones accelerates, and the foul.
Well, when you're down, it's going to be the extra effort plays. Haley Jones off of her own offensive rebound. Love the body control and how she protected the ball to get to the rim to score.
Jones, a 79% free throw shooter. She's got 11 to go along with 6 rebounds. 6-point game. What an impact off the bench for Agnes Emanopu. She hit that three-pointer in the third quarter, just the second three-pointer she's made this season, and now gets a hand in there to get the tie-up, and the possession arrow will keep it with Oregon.
I think just another great example of the depth of Stanford's bench. A young lady who hasn't had a lot of time, but comes in when called, and she is performing in a big way. And right now, defensively, is why she is in this game for the Stanford Cardinal.
Well, Watson checks out with 4 personal fouls. Sabally on the bench with 4. Prince checks back in for Oregon. She has not played a lot today, picked up 2 early fouls in the first quarter. Works with Pow Pow, and Prince checks into the game, wastes no time. You talk about someone who's got some confidence. Sedona Prince knocks it down. She's got 4. And stands her ground defensively and gets the block on the freshman Iriafen. Stanford ball.
Well, Prince was really the only post player for Oregon that will pop off that screen on the ball, and the bigs have been staying at home, clogging up for the guards. So great pop by Prince to make Stanford pay.
Lexi Hull, the entry. Kick back out to Jones. Iriafen rolls to the basket for 2. Double figures now for Kiki Iriafen, 11 points. A quiet moment here at Knight Arena as Oregon works their offense. Pow Pow. Prince follows up on the glass. Couldn't get the follow-up though, and it's a rebound for Iriafen, and here comes Jones. Jones gets by Pow Pow to the basket. Haley Jones trying to take over here in the 4th. The chant, "Let's go Ducks" here in Eugene. Pow Pow spinning, got bumped. Stanford takes it away.
Can't say enough about Emanopu's defense right now.
Leaning in, that won't spin in for Iriafen. Here comes Rogers off the miss, wants to push, and it's rejected by Jones.
The defense for both these teams. Here, Rogers trying to make something happen. Thinks she's got the clear shot because she gets by Wilson. But Jones says, not in my house.
Iriafen and Emanopu come out of the game. They have provided some really good minutes for Stanford here today, helping to keep the Cardinal in this game. Shear. Approaching 3 minutes to go in the 4th quarter here at Oregon. Sabally playing with 4. Block again by Jones, and Brink tried to save it. 7 to shoot for Oregon. Rogers won't go. Shear couldn't get it, and guess who's got the rebound? It's Jones. On the glass with the blocks on defense. And taking over offensively. Ducking inside, 2 more for Haley Jones. 2-point game, turnover, Oregon, Stanford basketball.
Haley Jones just being patient. Spin move yet again, and just finds the rim. Amazing move to the glass.
6-0 run for Stanford. And a foul called on Oregon. It's going to go against Shear. Second personal foul on Shear. 3 team fouls now on the Ducks.
What you're seeing from Stanford right now is just trying to exploit mismatches on offense.
We're tied at 60. Brink against Sabali, playing with the 4, and a timeout called by Oregon. 8 straight points for the Cardinal. Good one between these two rivals. Stanford firmly into the field, of course, a 1 seed according to Charlie Cream, but you had your daily coffee with cream. Christy texts and emails with Charlie every single day. What did he tell you about the impact for Oregon here today?
Well, he definitely said Stanford's safe regardless of the outcome. But for Oregon, he said it was dependent on what also happened in the Tennessee and Maryland game. Both those teams lost, so if Oregon can get a win here today, Charlie Cream believes they would move into that top 16 seed.
And of course, that is so critical, because if you can hold on to that, if you are one of those top 16 teams come Selection Sunday, you will host in the opening round of the NCAA tournament. Out of the timeout, Rogers can't hit the jumper, and here is who else? Haley Jones on the push. Haley Jones had her back to the basket and it wouldn't drop, and Oregon dodges a Jones bullet, and here comes Oregon back the other way. Tied at 60, inside of 2 to go. A long scoring drought here for the Ducks in the 4th. 8 straight points for Stanford.
Well, here are the Horns action. Expect Pow Pow to come back off this downstream.
Sabali was fouled before the shot. That'll be the 2nd team foul on the Cardinal. And that's 5 on Brink. Little encouragement for the freshman who has played so well today, Kiki Iriafen, who comes into the game with 1:26 to go. Brink finishes with 8 points, 3 rebounds. Rogers got to find Pow Pow, being defended now by Lacey Hull. Pow Pow, the pull-up. Rebound for Parrish. Foul called on Lexi Hull. Sydney Parrish set the tone for Oregon here today. Knocked down an early 3. This was a Duck team that was 0 for 16 from outside the 3-point line on their home floor. In a win against Cal on Friday night, she made that early 3. She was a factor in the early going and a big factor here on this play.
Well, we talk a lot about the big 3 of Sabali, Rogers, and Pow Pow, but how about Maddie Shear and Parrish's impact on this game? Defensively, hitting some big shots, but just making key plays for the Ducks here this afternoon.
1 minute to go here in the 4th. Sabali against the freshman. No. Rebound for Jones. Into the hands of Anna Wilson. And a timeout called by Tara Vanderveer for Stanford. Haley Jones has been outstanding in leading this Cardinal comeback.
Well, I said it early, for Stanford to get back in this game, she was going to have to play a part. The assist, the defense, saving 4 points at the rim in the second half. And then it's just been spin cycle off the reverse spin move. 2 big buckets off of the move in the second half.
She has played her best in big games with a lot on the line. Remember the Final Four, the 24 against South Carolina in the national semifinal, including the game winner. 17 in the championship against Arizona, most outstanding player of the Final Four. A slow start here today. Remember, she had the 2 fouls in the first quarter, but she has done it here, especially in the 4th, playing with a ton of confidence on both ends of the floor. It's Stanford basketball in a tie game.
Where we've seen the experience of Stanford here in the second half. Down double digits, no panic. They just kept doing what they do best, and that was some defense, some second chance opportunities, and now they've got a chance to take the lead.
Of course, they look to Jones. Jones puts it on the deck, and a blocking foul is called. Count the basket and 1, and Stanford has the lead in the final minute.
where we don't usually see a lot of emotion from head coach Tara Vanderveer, but she was off the bench, off of this move. Pinto tries to draw the charge and instead has the contact on Jones, but look at the mere strength of Jones as she's falling down.
How did she do that? How did she do that?
Mad skills, partner, mad skills.
Falling down, almost completely seated. Of course she finishes the three-point play. And a timeout called by Oregon. This is the largest lead of the game for Stanford and their first lead since the opening minutes of this game. Their only lead was 1-0 before Haley Jones put them on top of I3. A reminder, Big Ten, Big 12 Super Tuesday men's basketball doubleheader on ESPN and also on the app. 7 o'clock Eastern time. Get started with Michigan State on the road at Iowa. Then 6th-ranked Kansas, big rivalry game, of course, with Kansas State. It's at the Allen Fieldhouse. That's coming up on Tuesday. Haley Jones has been the go-to for Stanford. Flip it over to Oregon. Tahina Paopao has been their go-to. She's been held in check here the last couple of minutes. Is that where Oregon needs to look, and do they need to look for a three with 36.4 to go?
No, I think you go quick, high percentage score here. And let's not forget, Rogers is just as good off the bench. I expect some kind of screen on ball action from Oregon here out of this timeout.
We get it into the hands of Paopao. Now guarded by Emma Nopu. They go to Sabali inside. And she was fouled. A chance for Yara Sabali at the free throw line. She was hoping it was a chance for a three-point play, just would not drop. And Sabali, a 73% free throw shooter, will shoot a couple.
So many weapons for Oregon. And that's what I said, right? Just get the ball down low to Sabali and score.
I think that's what you said. I'm pretty sure you didn't, but I'm a good partner, and I'll say that's what you said. Here's Watson back into the game as Prince will take a seat.
Well, you're seeing some offense-defense substitutions by both teams right now.
Sabali, who missed 8 games this season. She's battled injury. She's been very limited in practice. Delivers at the free throw line. One more to come. She will be honored after the game on Senior Day, along with Shannon Duffusy, trying to make sure that is a happy celebration. She did her part. Sedona Prince with the hug, 2 free throws, and a timeout called now by Stanford, and they'll advance into the front court.
But the biggest thing for Stanford right now is to get the ball in cleanly, because no shot clock right now. Oregon's going to be forced to foul. If I'm Oregon, I am going for a steal on this entry pass. If you don't get it, then yes, you're looking to foul.
As we reset things, again, Stanford took a 1-0 lead on an administrative technical foul called before the opening tip. Lexi Hull made the free throw. It was a 1-0 Stanford lead, but then Oregon controlled the first quarter, especially with their defense. Stanford was 2 for 17 from the field in the first quarter. It was a 4-point lead after 1, a 5-point lead at halftime for Oregon. They stretched it out to a 10-point lead in the fourth quarter, but Haley Jones has led a spirited comeback. Russell Wilson and Ciara, they're not leaving early. No way. This game's on the line, and Stanford's got the ball in their hand here with the lead. And finally, a foul is given by Sabali, but she's the one who did not want a foul because that's her 5th personal foul.
When Kelly Graves knows he's only got 1 timeout left, so he's gathering his team right now, using this as a pseudo timeout to remind them what he wants.
So Sydney Parrish, or will it be Sedona Prince? I think Oregon's trying to get their personnel right. It will be Prince on the floor with Parrish. And that's it for Sabali. 8 points, 7 rebounds, 4 assists. And what could be your final game on this floor here in Eugene, unless things come together for the Ducks and they can host the NCAA tournament. Lexi Hull at the free throw line, 75% on the season. Oregon with the timeout remaining, so even if there's a hole make right here, you would see an Oregon timeout, advance it into the front court, or even off a miss, an Oregon timeout. We'll see how Kelly Graves plays it. It's a make, and I think Kelly Graves may keep the timeout in his pocket here as Stanford drops back behind half court, but now the timeout will be called.
Well, Eric, was interesting because before the substitution was made by Stanford, he was telling Rogers go.
Right.
But because Tara Vanderveer had someone at the table, he wasn't allowed to push tempo, forced to call his last timeout.
So Hull delivers at the free throw line. .1 to go. Okay, draw it up for us. Where are we going? What are we doing if we're the Oregon Ducks?
I'm going quick and getting to the rims. 20 seconds is still a lot of time, even without the timeout, without any more timeouts, because you want to force Stanford here to make a free throw. But the key right now is get it in cleanly and get to the rim. Don't settle for a jumper. Get the high percentage look. We saw some end of the game situations by both teams yesterday. I wouldn't even be surprised if maybe there was a back screen leading someone to the rim here. If not, I want to see Pow Pow get a touch here and try to create off the bounce.
Oregon out of timeouts. Stanford with one timeout remaining. A 3-point lead for the Cardinal, who are 13-0 in the Pac-12. They have wrapped up the regular season title. They'll be the #1 seed in Las Vegas in a couple weeks, but they are still playing to be undefeated in the Pac-12. They have outscored Oregon here in the second half. 34-26, trying to hold on here. Into Prince. Rogers with the drive, can't get it to drop, tip back out, controlled by Stanford, and a foul is called on Oregon with 6.5 to go.
How key has Emma Nopu been this afternoon for Stanford? Both she and Erie Offen have given the Cardinal just invaluable minutes and productivity off the bench.
Agnes Emanopu, playing in her 18th game this season, had 15 total points, was 1 for 5 from outside the three-point line, checked into this game in the second half, knocked down the three-pointer as part of this good second half for Stanford. Erie Offen has been big off the bench. Emanopu can't get it. Here comes the critical one again. Oregon with no timeouts, 6.5 to go. It's going to happen quickly. Big free throw from the sophomore from Australia.
Two-possession game now for Stanford. They just don't want to foul here.
Rogers launches off the mark, and that does it. Stanford stays undefeated in the Pac-12.
It wasn't always pretty for Stanford, but you're seeing why this team is so good. They bring so many players off the bench. Their margin of error is wide because these players are ready to perform when their number is called. Next player up was on full display this afternoon.
Feels like everyone has a hand in it for Stanford this year. Never been the case more than today, but Haley Jones was outstanding down the stretch, finishing with 18 points and 9 rebounds. It's a win for Stanford, 66-62 the final. For Christy Thomas-Cuddy and our crew, I'm Eric Freed. Thanks for being with us. Coming up next, undefeated Soul Survivor.